Looks like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm opening your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you mean. While you chase the crooks and I take the lead. Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no insight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, all in your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With ShizzyWhiznut. Dictionary Diva.
I love that intro.
I love that intro. And then I'm like, what if I did do my eyes like really dramatic with the fake eyelashes and the big hair?
Well, you know, then you would never get on stream because, you know, I'd have to be beaten involved.
You're like, I need her, man. Come on. She's gotta come on
you.
air at some point. It's not fair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So today we have the Amanda Martin deposition, and it's going to be spicy, of course. And I hope you guys are prepared for a nice sit down, and we'll see how far we get through it. And I will just let everybody know that later today I'll be doing a pre-recording because I will be gone Monday morning early, and so I'm going to have a nice stream that'll probably go for about 2 hours. And I'll be re-recording that later on. So stay tuned for tomorrow morning because who knows what it's going to be like. And I do have Diva pinned up there in the top, so make sure you go and sub up to
Yeah,
her, show her
sub
some
up.
love. She does like beautiful art streams and then you can also find all of her links all over the place. It's she's got the Down Home Network.
I do. Yeah.
She's got I mean she's spread all over the internet like
I don't
not
know
like
about
that.
that. You know, I'm pretty laid back. I don't have that kind of energy. Some people do, you know.
She does. She does. Don't you guys believe?
No, no, I
She's
don't.
got tons of energy.
Mm.
All right. So whereupon this here acknowledge that you done swore it all that you're going to say the truth, right?
I do.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Martin.
Good morning.
I'll turn my chair a little bit so I can see. I'm having trouble hearing them witnesses.
Well, I'll speak up.
Can you hear her now?
Good morning.
Mr. Manskin, can you hear her? Yes, I can hear yes. By the way, if I do log off, it's because it's a waste of time. I'll ask you to let me know when you're finished so I can log back on for cross. That's
Wow.
fine. Whatever. I'll put you in the waiting room. You can do whatever you want. And when I'm done, if you want to be, I'll put you in the waiting. And when you're ready, I'll take you out of the waiting room and put you back in here. Okay? Let me know. I will let you know at my request to put me in the waiting room. You got it. Okay. What do you prefer I call you?
Amanda is fine.
You can call me Randy. I'm Randy Shockett. We just met. As you know, I'm Mr. Hill's lawyer. My office is in Trenton, Florida, and you're here. You're not a party to this case. You're here as a witness to certain facts that we need to explore that involve the relationship between Mr. Hales and the two defendants. Have you ever given a deposition before?
No.
Really? That's interesting. Well, I'm doing my research for this. I really don't I don't practice criminal law, so I really don't know what the hell a victim's advocate does or you don't testify, you don't give depositions?
No. It's a respect thing, mutual respect thing for victim advocates that we were never called for deposition or for trial.
All right. Well, so mutual respect between prosecutors and the criminal defense lawyers.
Correct.
Is it like do you know what a guardian ad litem is?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Is it similar to that somehow?
Yes, the roles are very similar.
All right. Let's start with that because I really do need to ask that. You are a victim's advocate.
No.
You have been a victim's advocate.
Yes.
So for how about long now?
Approximately 10 years.
So you're an experienced victim's advocate. Is that fair to say? Or an old hack? I mean, yeah.
It depends on someone's definition, but yes.
Can you tell us what duties besides being a pain in the ass and responsibilities are of a victim's advocate?
So it depends on the type of victim advocate.
Okay.
There are different roles depending on the type of victim advocate.
Right. So a law. Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
So a law enforcement victim advocate at the sheriff's office has a different role than I did as victim advocate at the prosecutor's office.
All right, woman. Let me stop you right there. So I saw that. So there's the sheriff's office that has one of them victims advocates.
Correct.
Then the court, the Eighth Circuit, has victims advocates.
The state attorney's office.
State attorney's office
Correct.
of the Eighth Circuit.
Correct.
Okay, Brian Kramer.
Correct.
Was that your supervisor, Brian, ultimately?
Yes. He was my elected official, yes. Not my direct supervisor, but my
Okay, fine, fine, fine. So you have experience. I understand in both.
correct.
Tell us, as a sheriff's victim advocate, what in the hell do you do?
So there, I ultimately would respond to crime scenes and ultimately help those immediately on the scene. So more of a frontline response, whereas the state attorney's office, it's more of a on the back side of it. So after enforcement has been there, they've processed things. A crime has occurred and the arrest has been made or a sworn complaint that has been done. Then it's sent over to the state attorney's office. Then at that point, it's kind of the backside of it.
Oh, the backside. Who appoints your backside to a case when you're working for the state attorney? How do you know if you have a victim to advocate for?
If there's a victim listed on an affidavit, it doesn't matter if the crime was a criminal mischief, a petty theft, a violent crime. If there was a victim listed, then there was a victim advocate assigned to it. That is how it was when I was there. Things have since changed due to funding and things of that nature. So I'm not familiar with how things are now. So I can't speak on that.
So when you say now, are you referring to the sheriff's victim advocate or
No, state.
the Eighth Circuit state attorney?
Correct.
All right, all right. I think I got it. As far as you know, as far as how you do know things, how are you assigned a case at that there sheriff's office?
Yes.
Things are much different. Normally, you're notified by law enforcement that they have encountered a victim, that they need assistance. And well, that's normally also when, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, that's you.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping a gun again. What can I say?
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Huh?
Well, things are much different. Normally, you're notified by law enforcement that they have encountered a victim and that they need assistance. And that's normally. Also, when I was there again, that's been many years ago, I would follow up the following morning after, an arrest
With
has
a
been
pill.
made the previous night to look to see if there were any domestic batteries, violent crimes or people crimes.
Oh, so you basically once there's arrest, that's the possibility when you're working as a victim's advocate for that sheriff, and that victim's advocate be just assigned just upon that their arrest. Is that right?
Upon the arrest or prior or even prior. So, if we had an investigation of a sexual battery or domestic batteries, stalking, there's a multitude of things that they would call a victim advocate on.
Oh, okay. So then when it got to the court, did you ever see where a case where you were a victim's advocate when you were working for the sheriff and then they got assigned to a different victim's advocate with the Eighth Circuit, with the state's attorney's office?
Correct. Normally, they didn't bleed over. So, once it's sent to the state's attorney's office, the new victim advocate at the state attorney's office would take over.
Okay, so the sheriff's victim advocate is done
Typically,
at that point.
almost always. There are rare occasions that does not happen, but it is usual.
Unusual. Okay, got it. Now, if I'm a victim's advocate, let's pretend I am. What can I do to help somebody? You don't testify in court, so
Correct.
that's why I'm like, what do you do? I'm sorry to act so basic, but I really you don't testify in court. I have not a damn clue what the hell you do, woman.
A lot of times, it just comes down to informing victims of their rights, of just giving them guidance through the justice system. Sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's responding to going to court events.
With the victim?
Yes, with the victim or in lieu of them, if they cannot be present. So we're depending really on what type of case we're talking here. So obviously, if you have a simple battery that is non-domestic, well, they may not get the same interaction or same attention, I would say, as a serious homicide case. So they're not going to have the same number of interactions and services.
Is one of the services helping them get in touch with any sort of compensation fund?
Yes.
So the state of Florida does
What
have.
are you doing there, Mr. Shockett? You're
Oh,
reading my lines again, sir.
sorry.
Lord
Sorry.
have mercy.
I can't help it. You get me so excited.
I know. Yes. So the state of Florida does have a crimes compensation fund. Absolutely. Again, depending on the type of crime, we can certainly lead them in that direction. We don't usually help too much in that department, but
you can point them in the right direction.
Well, absolutely. And we can point them in the direction of Another Way, which is a domestic violence center, Three Rivers Legal Services that will handle restraining orders, things in that nature. So we will refer out for services.
I see. And how do you communicate with the victim?
Well, normally they would call.
They're told to call you?
Yes.
Call me. At this point, let's not talk about the sheriff anymore. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, yes. And now you.
At this point, let's not talk about that there sheriff no more. I got it.
Yeah, state attorney's office.
Let's assume for the rest of this deposition that we're talking about a case where it transferred, like you said.
Correct. They would call.
I'm sorry.
They would call the office.
So they're told to call you.
Well, most of the time they would call, I think, even without prompting. So they would just call. And if they did not, again, depending on the type of crime, obviously, if it was a homicide or something where they had injured victims, well, typically we would try and I would try to call them to get them scheduled in for testimony relatively soon, depending on what the prosecutor instructed me to do.
In the criminal case?
Yes.
Are you allowed to email them?
Yeah, there's nothing prohibiting me from doing that. It wasn't common, but
Yes, because they don't have interwebs or something. It's not really common, right?
not typically out here.
They just call you.
Yes.
How about sexting? I mean, texting. Can they text you?
Well, they can. I had a work issued cell phone.
Okay. Do you offer to text? Do you offer to say, if you need me, here's my cell phone number?
It is on my business card.
Oh, it was on your business card, so they have it right there.
Correct.
All right. So thank you for telling me this because I got more out of it. Can a victim request you to do something and then you decide whether or not you can do it or not? Like if someone says to you, I want $50,000, I wants to get paid. I'm sure you've gotten people that ask you stuff like that. You can't do that, right?
Yeah. Over the years. One time I had somebody request like dog foods, just something random. Certainly, if it's something within my means, like they're hungry and need dog food, I definitely tried to do what I could to try to help with that. But as far as like 50,000, no, I've never quite had that request.
Well, let's just say a lot of money. How do I get compensated from this? He stole from me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So I would point them in the direction of the victim's compensation if it was a crime that applied.
If it was a crime that applied, okay. And what was if you don't know, oh, by the way, you've never given a deposition before. You're doing great.
I've never given them, but I've sat in hundreds of them.
It sounds like you're really experienced in that too. Okay. So This is a court proceeding, even though we're not in Judge Davis's courtroom. We're here in a conference room. It's a court proceeding.
I'm aware.
Okay, so I want to be asking you, and I have asked you already a series of questions. You're going to give your answers. Your answers are under oath. You know that, right?
I'm aware.
And so even though we're not in his courtroom, your testimony, and I have to tell you this, and I have to tell every deposition witness this, it's nothing personal. The answers
Mhm.
you're giving today as a consequence of the oath are still subject to penalties of perjury as if you were before Judge Davis.
That's correct.
Okay, and if I ask you a question, and this dovetails into that, if I ask you a question, and if you're not sure of my question, just don't answer it, okay?
I am aware. Yes, sir. I know the rules.
Okay, you know the rules, no guessing. There is a guessing penalty here.
Yes, sir.
It's not like high school where you get multiple choices, pick one. No, 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 no. We're here seeking the truth, and that's it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know or don't remember, that's a great answer. Just tell us. Good. Now we've got that over with. And if you need to take a break at any time, you gotta, shake the dew off a little. Just let me know.
I'm ready to get it over.
Huh?
I'm ready to be done.
I know you are, but just
Yeah.
we already started it, so all right.
And again, I apologize for being late. I just misread.
I'm going to go a little further now. So, are you allowed to strike that? Is there any training that a victim advocate gets? You're laughing. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm laughing because that's a great question.
Okay.
So, most of the training that a victim advocate gets is really on the job training. Truthfully, I didn't know what I was doing when I was hired. I had no idea. I just know I had a passion and
I'm going to ask you about that. I know you have a passion for it, for victims.
more than you probably know.
Okay.
But no. So there is a 40-hour class that they sent you to for I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like a designation class, but it's
At the beginning of your employment?
yeah, so you go in the beginning and then you go every so often to renew it.
Oh, like continuing education.
Correct. But to be very honest, I mean, it teaches you the very basics. Nothing teaches you to be a victim advocate other than dealing with the victims every day.
Did they ever tell you you can do all these things except this or that, or here's a list of things that you can do in the training?
No.
They never tell you. Okay.
If they do, I don't remember that.
Are you allowed to talk to the attorneys
Yes.
in a case,
Yes.
including the accused attorneys?
Yes, that was common. Yes, very common.
Okay. Okay. Are you allowed to talk to the judge? Not in the courtroom.
About the case.
Yeah.
No. That is no, that is against the rules. That's unethical.
It's like ex parte.
I can't tell you what it is. That's just technical, like legal term.
Someone told you can't tell the judge anything unless you were in the courtroom talking to.
I just know that would be unethical.
Okay.
I don't think anyone has ever told me that.
It's something you wouldn't do. It's unethical, you think.
Absolutely.
Are you allowed to talk to the witnesses? Not the victim?
So if they were to call into the office, it would happen sometimes. There were where a witness would contact our office about certain cases. If asked questions, I would only give information that was public record. So if they had a question about when the next court was, that is something they can read online. And I had no problem helping them gather that information, but specific information on the case, no.
All right, woman, I got you. So now we're getting here into this. Thank you for educating me. I
You
feel
need to
like
be
I know a little more about
Mhm.
that victims advocate now. Well, do you know Russell Meeks.
Yes.
Well, and how do you know him?
I know his son, Rock.
Rock, but you don't know Russell very well. The papa.
No, other than just being Rock's dad.
Have you ever met Russell Meeks?
Yeah, when we were kids
So you grew up in Levy County.
in Levy County.
Where did you go to high school?
Chiefland.
Chiefland High School. Okay, great. And Meek's son went to Chiefland also?
I'm not going to answer personal questions, Mr. Socket.
Listen, woman, it's not a personal question.
Where I went to high school is personal, and that was more than I wanted to release. I'm just being honest.
Listen, I'm asking you, do you know what high school Russell Meek's son attended?
I do not.
Where did you meet Meek's son?
So we're in a small community.
I understand. I live here.
Everybody plays ball together. You live here, but if you're not from here, like you grew up here as, a youngin', knee-high, everybody just knows everybody. And I don't know how to explain that.
I know you don't, because I'm getting it. It's
Mhm.
soaking in. I got
So,
it.
I do not know Russell. If I were to see him at Walmart's, I would not speak to him. I do not know him.
Let me tell you why I asked. Because at one of the hearings in this case, I think he sat right next to you or very close to you at one of the hearings.
That is incorrect.
Oh, so you never saw him at a hearing in the case?
Absolutely. He sat several pews ahead of me. When I walked in, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I walked in, I sat on probably the very back row, which is what I would typically do if I were coming in to observe a hearing.
Okay, but you're able to identify Russell Meeks.
Yes,
So you know what he looks like.
I am very good at observing.
I bet you are. You know what he looks like.
Yes.
Have you ever spoken with him?
Not that I can ever remember. Rock, yes, but not Russell.
Okay, I got you. And maybe Miss Mary Jane, his mama, at one point. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got you.
Oh, and maybe Miss Mary Jane, his mama, at one point, but Mr. Russell, no, never.
And I understand the Mr. Russell thing too. That's around here too. Got you. Do you know Stephanie Barron, the realtor?
Real estate agent, yes.
There you go. Okay. When I first met her, because they got the house here, I was Mr. Randy.
It's a respect thing.
I got you. Do you know Mark? You do know Mark Feather? He grew up here.
I do not know Mark in the community at that level. I do not know Mark that way. The only way I know Mark is through professional. I mean, professional. But we worked together so much that him and we just became friendly.
And you had cases when you were a victim's advocate with their sheriff.
Correct.
With Mark Feather.
Yes.
So, did you know Mark Feather represented Jeremy Hales?
I did not know that.
All right. Tell us what you know about this case with Miss Preston and Mr. Hales, since you were at some point the victim's advocate for Miss Preston. Is that right?
So, I'm going to be as straightforward as I can be. I knew them in a capacity as a victim.
Who's them? Both of them.
Well, I was introduced to Lynette first when she came in and as a capacity as a victim. Due to Marcy's law, I'm not going to discuss any of the facts of the case or anything I know in that capacity. You know that the public record requests can be done through that. So, are you asking me in specifics in reference to the criminal case, or can you just be more specific about
What criminal case?
that's how
Mr. Hales was never charged with a crime.
so what?
It was a domestic violence case.
So I think you and I are on two different pages, and I apologize.
Well, the hearing that you went into was a domestic violence hearing.
Correct. Yes. So we're getting calls from different parties, and I don't remember who now. And so I would not misspeak to that, that they're,
Remember, I said if you don't remember, that's the answer.
yes, that there were things going on in Otter Creek, and that there was a hearing or a restraining order, or maybe a back and forth. And again, I don't remember the details, but that there was going to be a hearing, and that we may potentially be getting a case out of it. So, only to observe, I went and just stuck my head in before I had a testimony. I had a testimony coming up, so I just had a few minutes. So I went and observed. It was nothing more than that.
You didn't stay. I think you.
No, and that was the entire purpose of it. It was just an observation. And I mean, you could ask the court staff. It was not uncommon for me to do that at all. Actually, they used to have an entire docket for just restraining orders. It was not uncommon for me to try to come and sit through the entire docket for restraining orders because we would often get cases from that. So it was just,
You mean like on Wednesdays when they have.
yes.
Okay.
So I tried to observe those because oftentimes restraining orders in criminal cases will bleed together. They will overlap. So I tried to just observe to have that knowledge of what was going on.
When did you first start working in this courthouse?
Well, I've never worked in this courthouse. I work in the state attorney's office.
Oh, okay. I got you. When did you first start working for Mr. Brian Kramer?
Well, I started working for Mr. Bill Servone. At first, it was 2017.
It's 2017. Understood. So you attended since 2017 when you were available these Wednesday hearings here in Levy County.
Yes.
Had you attended those hearings before Judge Browning before?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Judge Davis?
No.
Okay. Judge Davis. Oh, I'm sorry.
Judge Davis did not handle that docket.
And then Judge Browning passed away like a football in the night, unfortunately.
Yes.
And then Judge Thomas took over.
Yes.
So actually, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I got that wrong.
Judge Graffis,
How about Judge Griffiths? Let's start with Judge Griffiths.
well, Judge Graffis, Judge Browning,
Browning was county. Sorry about that.
but I have sat through them with Judge Browning. Judge Susan Bullard, I think it was.
Susan Wilson Bullard? Yeah.
I've sat with Lancaster.
Well, why? How about Judge Grobe?
Well, I've sat with some of him.
Wow.
So it's
You're experienced at those hearings, let's say.
correct.
Are you experienced? Have you ever seen? Do you know the answer to this? But let's put it differently. You've seen it's not uncommon when they call a case during those Wednesdays when the respondent hadn't been served yet, right?
Yes.
And what normally happens at that point?
If a respondent hasn't been served.
Right.
Well, so I think it has varied from my recollection. It has varied over the years depending on the judge. Now, Judge Browning had his own ways of doing things.
Well, that's why I asked you that.
But typically, I think it was more common that they would move the case out and give more time for the respondent to be served.
Well, had you ever seen the judge interact and receive documents from a petitioner when the respondent hadn't yet been served?
I honestly don't remember that.
You would have remembered that, right, if you ever saw that?
I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't remember that vividly in my head.
Would that be unusual to you to have vivid dreams, to start to hear testimony and receive documents?
So I knew there had been times where they had attempted service on respondents like several times and were unsuccessful. And I had seen judges in the past try to talk to the petitioner about the situation as far as like what was going on to determine if it's something that they need to continue or if it was something that she was comfortable with dismissing. So I can't tell you that it's not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I, of course, do. Because he or she is hard to serve, the judge would tell them that.
Correct.
We had difficulty serving them. Do you still want to continue?
Right. So, for lack of better terms, it's like, is this juice worth the squeeze?
Oh, yeah, right down my leg like a lemon. I
So,
mean, what?
like, is it worth continuing to try, or is this something that you know, after time has passed, are you kind of over it? So, I've seen judges interact even though the respondent was not served with that kind of thing as far as paperwork passing.
Yeah, paperwork passing.
I don't recall that, but I would be being untruthful if I said that has never happened because I don't know. I didn't sit through them every one. I sat for the ones that
Did you sit through any of the ones in this case with Miss Preston or Mr. Hales, any of the pretrial or pre-hearing proceedings?
no. The only one I sat through was the very first one, and I was there for a short time because I had testimony on my schedule. So it really was just to observe for a few minutes.
Well, this is Exhibit 1. Mr. Manskin, if you're still with us, this is the one that says Amanda Martin's post. Here, I'll give it to the court reporter. Well, I'd have to see it on the camera. You'll have to send me a copy by the email. I sent you a copy before the deposition started, moron. Check your email. You will have all the... Do you have the exhibits for today? In fact, that's the subject line. It says exhibits for today. I'm not sure if the witness is aware this is a lawsuit about defamation. Okay, I'm going to... it's a tortious interference. Therefore, if you don't begin to ask relevant questions, move to strike. You're going to move to strike? Those 37 to terminate we're going to move to strike. Deposition for being used for harassment proceedings. Oh, you may proceed. I make a motion to strike that entire comment by Attorney Manskin. We'll bring it up with the magistrate, the judge.
Can we please get on with this, please? It is time.
To state my objection, you may strike it after, but I will state it clearly, and I'm not speaking over nobody's. I do so now. Start. There's no pending question to object to, counsel. I have an objection to state on the record, and that is this. Rule 37 prevents a party from using depositions to harass and appoint witnesses. You have not touched on anything remotely relevant to this case. I will indulge this for as long as I see fit until I determines that you is not going to ask this question about anything to do with the claims in this here federal case. Using it for ulterior purposes, perhaps future litigation. That's an improper purpose. Rule 37 allows a witness to terminate a deposition if they feel they're being harassed. That's all. And now I'm going to make Hortennis motion on the record for sanctions against Attorney Matskin for the witness tampering, witness instructing through the use of improper speaking objection. And I hope it doesn't happen again. Oh, Jesus. I cannot, I'm sitting here looking at that, and I cannot believe that's asshat did this.
He's like, okay, you don't have to talk. I'm just trying to tell you, don't talk, don't speak. Wow.
Yeah, that's like, all of that will be stricken. Like, oh my God, what an asshat. This is Exhibit 1. Do you recognize this?
No.
Oh, did you post it? Is this you?
No.
Wow, you got an imposter out there.
No.
No?
I have no idea who that is in that profile picture.
Well, look at the picture. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No, we don't look alike.
Okay.
But
read what it says. It sounds like somebody very passionate, right?
yes, and I am very passionate.
That's right, girl. That's why I thought it was you.
It is not me, but no,
I get this on Facebook. Wow.
it's not me, but kudos to her.
Kudos to Amanda Martin.
Yes, not me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but yes, I am very passionate.
Did you exchange texts with Miss Preston?
It's very possible, but I cannot tell for certain.
Okay. How about did you exchange emails with Miss Preston?
Again, I do not remember.
Are your emails and phone records part of the Sunshine Law?
Absolutely.
We could get those if they exist.
They absolutely should.
How about text messages? Are they preserved under the Sunshine Law?
Well, you know more about that than I do. I don't know much about that other than,
They gave you a work phone.
yes,
Did you turn it back in when you left?
yes, it had to be reset and turned back on, though.
That means erase.
Like they made me, like that was a requirement. So I had to do that.
Did they make you have a backup at all?
No.
So if there were text messages, only Miss Preston would have them, right?
Yeah, but I don't know that I mean, I'm being honest. I just don't know that there were.
Remember, we want the truth. So if you don't remember, then that's
Yeah, I do not remember that there were one way or another. I don't remember.
okay. That's fine. I mean,
I mean, I would text people occasionally when I was in court or things of that nature. I try not to make a habit to do that. I usually use the phone.
all right. You said there was a talk in the town about this case between Preston and Hales, right?
Not in the town, no.
Or you heard something, and that's why you stopped in, right? You heard something
In our office.
in your office. Did you hear about any road signs around town, around Otter Creek?
No.
You just heard that there was a case.
Yes.
So was Miss Preston ever one of the people that you advocated for?
Was she listed as a victim in a case that came into the office?
Yes.
So again, back to Marcy's Law.
You can't say that.
An identity of a victim is protected.
But we know who.
I know, but
Then let's throw it down even further before I do that. I'm going to ask you about Judge Thomas's.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
Sure you are. I mean, I got you. Do you know Judge Thomas's?
I've seen him on the bench. Do I know him outside of the bench? No.
You didn't know him before he became a judge here?
No.
You ever spoken with him?
Like off the bench.
Well, I mean, on the bench, off the bench, in the bed, out of the bed, off the bench.
No.
Have you ever spoken with him in his chambers?
No.
You ever been in his office, couch caller?
I don't even know where that's at.
Well, it's not done here. Did you ever say something to somebody to pass a message to Judge Thomas's?
No. The only judge I've ever known was Judge Browning.
I know, and he's a very good judge. So I'm so sorry. I know you knew Judge Browning because he was from here.
Yes.
I know it's terrible.
So I do not know Judge Thomas's.
All right. Now we're going to get into some very specific things about these here people. There was a bomb scare in the building in January.
Yeah. It was about the same day that I come and observe that hearing.
That's right. And we were all asked to leave the building because the building had to be evacuated.
Correct.
But your happy ass stayed a little longer than most people that were evacuated.
No, I didn't.
No. Okay. Did you at one point during that evacuation?
I wasn't here whenever that happened, actually. I was at my office. I was in a testimony when that came out.
Oh, where's your office? Where was your office? The other building over there?
Literally right there.
In the building across the parking lot right here.
So it's next to the courthouse.
So you have to go outside to
Correct.
get to your office.
Yes.
So do you remember that day when the building was evacuated? Did you walk your happy ass outside to go to your office and you saw Mr. Hales in the parking lot?
So I had, when the bomb threat came in, I was in my office in testimony when that happened. So, yes, the only thing that brought me to this area was that the victim that was in my office had a young infant. That's okay. I want to explain this
Okay.
because I think other things have been stated that weren't necessarily true.
Okay, but this is the opportunity to clear the air.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
And so I actually was. She had a young child with her, and it was a hot day. So instead of making her stand out in the heat, her vehicle was parked right up front. And I asked the sheriff's deputy to please let me in the perimeter just to move her vehicle out of the perimeter, just to let them leave so she could get that baby out of the heat.
Oh, all right, continue. So you were outside for that just for that reason?
No, I was outside because they made everybody leave our building. They evacuated us too. It wasn't just y'all.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I was over there. Otherwise, I would have been over there because they evacuated us.
That was evacuated too then, right?
Yes, they evacuated all of us.
Okay.
But that's why I was over here.
All right. When you were assisting them outside, you saw Mr. Hales.
Well, that is the very first time that I saw Mr. Hales, and I had no idea who he was when I saw him.
You made a rather emotional face at him. Is that fair to say?
No, it's not fair to say, actually, because I actually do not even recall doing that. And could I have? Absolutely. Could I have done that when I walked into you on accident? Yes, I could have. Did I mean that I just meant to do that? No. But could I have? Absolutely. But
But you were in the courtroom previously. You saw Mr. Hales.
oh, very briefly. I'd love for someone to get on the counter on that and see how long I was in there. It was very
We have the video.
okay. Then how long was I in there, Mr. Socket?
Woman, I don't know. I can just go back. And it has a time thing, a time.
Well, please. How long was I in there?
I don't know. We can go back and look.
Not long enough to.
When you saw Mr. Hales, then the bomb scare happened. Then you went outside
Yes.
and you made a face at him.
Okay.
Any reason why? Did you have an impression of Mr. Hales at that there point?
No.
Do you have an opinion, Mr. Hales, now as you sit here?
Yes.
Tell us. It's okay.
No.
Well, you're under oath.
I don't have to answer that question. That's my personal opinion.
And that's what
It is not
I'm asking about.
a question regarding this case.
Ma'am.
I'll be very direct with you. Mr. Hales caused a lot of turmoil in my life. He hurt me a lot. He smiles, but he hurt me a lot.
It's okay.
I'm not doing this.
Did he start that day?
I'm not. I will answer questions that are pertaining to this.
Well, this case is about Mr. Hales.
And I'm absolutely cooperating.
Oh, yes, you are. I want to just understand so I can understand you. What in the hell did he do to make you feel like he's hurt you in your life?
Honestly, I think probably the lowest thing he could have done is read my son's father's obituary on the YouTube channel.
Oh, he read your son's father's obituary on the YouTube channel. Is that an obituary on the internet?
It doesn't matter.
Is it available on the internet?
It doesn't matter, Mr. Socket. Let's move on, please.
That hurts you.
Deeply. Can we move on?
I'm just trying to understand. Well, I got you. When did that happen?
I just want to say, so yes, it's possible that I may have made a face of some sort.
Oh, I understand. Had he read the obituary at that time already?
No.
So Mr. Hales reading that obituary was after that there bomb scare that day, right?
Yeah.
Did he do anything else that offended you?
Are we?
You want to take a break, woman?
No. I'm ready to keep moving on. It seems like we're stalling.
No, we're not stalling.
This is not like you're asking me questions that and maybe I don't see where you're going with this.
Well, obviously, woman, you was biased against him. So,
Is the other guy on here, the other attorney,
I get to ask the questions here, woman.
is he on there?
I get to ask the questions.
Is he on there?
I get to ask the questions.
Mr. Matchkin, are you on here?
Don't ask anything of anybody, please. Yes, I'm here. Now we're getting bullshit. Just please. So you open the door to this and now it's open.
I'm not opening the door.
You just did.
Door's closed. Let's go.
You can't do that, woman.
I just did.
Are you refusing to answer the question?
Okay. I'm refusing to answer the question.
And you're refusing to answer the last question.
I don't know. Which question was that?
How can you refuse to answer a question if you don't even know what the hell it is?
I am asking you to please. Let's move on. And I'm doing it very politely.
And woman, I'm asking you that I'm telling you that I get to ask the questions. I am an attorney representing my client, so I don't make it. It's not personal. I'm trying to explore. We're here to seek the truth.
It wasn't personal.
Okay, so if it's not, and I thought that's what I'm saying. So if it's not personal, why in the hell would it be so offensive to you?
I was doing my job. I don't get to choose who victims are when they come in. They're assigned on a law enforcement report. I don't choose that. Law enforcement chooses that. I just want to make that clear.
Well, you've explained it, the role. I got it. That's beautiful.
I don't think some people know that.
Right. But can you understand how when someone who is, do you understand how, and you're an experienced victims advocate, so you just said most people don't understand it. So if you was a defendant yourself and that there a victim's advocate comes out and makes a face, doesn't that look like you're being a bias against that person and maybe pro the victim, which is fine, but against the person?
At that point, I wasn't for anyone. I wasn't for anyone.
Well, why the hell the face? That's what I don't understand.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, maybe. I couldn't tell you.
Maybe you got the resting bitch face, okay?
I do, okay? I can't go back to that day. If I could, I am so sorry, Mr. Hales, that I made that face at you. And I mean that, you know.
I appreciate that, sure. But when I want to ask you something else that you may not remember or recall. We were down that day and it was hot for we had come back at 1:30 or something. And I don't know if you remember, we were just told to come back at 1:30. What's the name of that restaurant over there?
A&A.
You went to A&A.
For my lunch on my lunch break.
That day, correct?
Off the record.
Off the record.
Off the clock.
Yeah, I understand.
On my own break.
I understand. Everyone did. If you brought your lunch, you couldn't eat it here, right? You were told to leave this here building. So did you remember seeing a Mr. Hales there with a Mr. Feather?
I don't remember seeing Mr. Hales there, actually.
Do you remember seeing Mr. Feather there?
I did see Mr. Feather.
Do you know that, and I'll tell you, as an officer of the court, I just spoke to Mr. Feather. Do you know that Mark Feather will testify that you said to him at that lunch, your client is a piece of shit? Let me grab a couple of these super chats so we don't get lost. I'll give you a minute. Fun and games in the circus Pomolopicus. Thank you very much, Rickles. Diva's got to get herself under control.
I do. I'm just imagining that. I am imagining somebody going into my local diner after court, and they would do exactly that. Be like, your client's a piece of shit. I can see this.
An answer to your question, Snowy Hurricane. This right here, and hopefully that it really does explain this to a lot of people, because that is a common question that people have. And listen to the testimony, and it becomes very clear what it does prove. Snowy Hurricane was what does her testimony help Jeremy prove? It proves that she was biased and she was not advocating for a victim that was a victim of a having a restraining order against somebody else. That she was overstepping her bounds, that this is a coordinated effort to go after Jeremy. This is what he is trying to prove. And there's a reason for him doing this deposition of her, showing that things were being talked about that shouldn't have been talked about, especially from a victim's advocate. You have to remember that as a victim's advocate, you're not supposed to be out there siding with the other side. You're supposed to be impartial, and you're supposed to be helping the victim, which would be Jeremy in this case, and navigate their way through the court proceedings, not by reaching out to people that would be part of this case or anything else unless directed to by the court. It might be to set up testimony or any other thing, but a victim's advocate is not supposed to be taking a side on this. They're there to help the victim, not necessarily to be in agreement with them, but to help them through the whole process. That is the point right here. And this proves that there is a coordinated effort and people finding information out about Jeremy and using that to go after his business and cause more problems with him. And also it's going to show how she knew about a lot of these signs that were posted, and that's what it was for. Oh, damn it. I still need to do this. My P.O. box address. Karen, thank you for reminding me. Diva, if you would, because your memory is better than my old friend.
Oh, no, it's not. It's horrible. My memory is horrible.
Somebody remind me to damn it, get my post box posted on my YouTube channel so people can find it. Thank you so much, Karen Segner. I'll have that thing up there. Doggone it.
I have something I still have to send out. One of my paintings I've got is going to be going to a new home, and I still haven't sent it out yet. And it's been a while. Yeah.
I'll have that set up because I'm such a slacker. Somebody will remind me. They always do.
Good.
Like, no,
Good.
posted. All right. So you're right there at your answer.
Yes. Well, then Mark Feather would be actually telling a fib because that is not what I said.
So what did you say?
You know what? It would be his word against me.
Tell us what you said to Mark Feather, huh? What? Why is he wrong? Do you deny you said it?
Yeah, I didn't say that. Those were not my words. I actually did not know who he was over there representing. I did not know that.
Do you remember saying anything to Mr. Feather that day?
Me and Mark had a conversation standing out by my car. It was brief. Yes, I did.
So Mark is telling the truth.
No, that is not what I said, but
What did you say? What's your best recollection today?
I don't know. And I'm not going to guess because I know better. But I know that that was not my exact words. And I know that Mark is way older than me. So I know that his memory is not as good as mine.
Oh, God.
I know for certain he did not remember the exact terminology.
Oh, so is it fair to say you said something that wasn't derogatory about Mr. Hales to Mr. Feather?
No, Mr. Hale's name never came out of my mouth.
Oh, so did you say anything to Mark Feather about any client of his?
I did not name anyone.
Did you talk about a client at all to Mr. Feather that day?
Again, I didn't know who he was representing. Now, Mr. Feather has been known to represent people that weren't necessarily the greatest. He is a defense attorney, and
Oh,
that's the capacity that I knew him in. And so,
they take it as it comes in. Do you understand you're innocent until
absolutely,
proven guilty?
absolutely. Me and Mark have joked about that for years. And me and Mark often joked about that, specifically about one client that he represented many years ago.
I think I know who you're talking about. When were you in the sheriff's office?
But yes,
I don't want to hear about it. We're not going to talk about it
we're not discussing that. That's what I'm saying.
at all. Okay, I got you.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying. So, him and I often joked about certain things in reference to some of the clients that maybe he in the past represented.
So it's your testimony that whatever you said to Mark Feather was to be taken as a joke that day.
Yes, absolutely. I was joking when I said it.
She's giving it away. Yes, she called him a piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I have a very I have a very light personality.
Oh, I got you. You want to take a break real quick? I need a quick bathroom break, and I'm about to have 2 more documents. So you're getting there. Let's talk about 2060 is the rule for a protective order for witness being harassed. 2060. We're off the record. We're taking a break. Please stop. The witness can move for a protective order under 26C. Look, I just Googled it. Hold on. Did you get that?
Oh, I did, yes.
I'm going to go back on the record then. I'm making a second or tennis motion for sanctions against Mr. Manskin again for attempting to coach the witness and give legal advice to the witness. We'll move for sanctions before the magistrate. Off the record, 5 minutes. I mean, is it possible, Diva, that you could be any more of an asshole by interrupting a court proceeding like this?
At first, I used to think his strategy was just to be like completely in the way of court proceedings. I thought that was his whole strategy.
Dick.
Yeah, just to be completely obstinate and make things drag on as slow as possible and have details and pertinent facts lost in the mire of all of this, like interruption and like changing from topic to topic. But now I don't believe that's necessarily a strategy. I think that that is just what this defense is. Just awful.
Yeah, well, it seems to me that because originally in this case, it was he bragged and like constantly about how Jeremy doesn't have a case. He doesn't want to take this to court. He wants to settle this out of court, and he will settle this out of court. This isn't going anywhere. All of this is a nothing burger where, we He's got nothing on this. We can prove that those signs were written by Lynette. We can prove all of this. And I mean, it's throughout this whole thing, there's been this constant, this group of people that have this belief, and I don't know if it's because they're misinformed, of saying, well, that's not me. That's not me. You can't get me to come into court. Yeah. And if I do show up in court, you're going to get a piece of my mind. I'm going to be more than happy to get out there and tell the truth because I know what the hell's going on. And then as soon as they're proven wrong and they're actually served and the sheriff shows up at their door or process server shows up at their door, then it's all of a sudden, well, they didn't do it properly. And then it's just like, but even if they didn't do it properly, wouldn't you want to get in there and tell the truth and your side of the story? These are the kinds of things that you see, and it's almost like a deflection, and almost everything that Bubbles does is a deflection away from the actual case. I mean, and I mean his past four filings that he was throwing out there, that it was like just throwing crap and saying you need sanctions, and it seemed more like he was crying for money than anything.
Yeah, and maybe that's worked as a strategy in the past for a settlement, for a large or some settlement. Maybe that has worked because people are just tired of dealing with the BS because it's constant. It's kind of like if you've ever been outside in the summer and then there's these little clouds of gnats that will fly around, and you have the goal of, I'm going to get my walk in or I'm going to get my run in, but then there's this cloud of gnats that's just constantly around your head. So you just stop. You just stop your activity. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening with this is he is trying to be that cloud of gnats that gets them just to stop and settle.
Oh Lord, it's process servers then weebles to the garage to hide for in hot air. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, exactly. They said they wrote the signs. What a joke. He was in Ohio. I know. Well, and then that has changed so many times also, of saying, well, he wrote these signs. We've got a handwriting expert that's going to prove he wrote these signs. And then whenever called to the carpet, it becomes very clear that this person lies, like constantly.
I don't think I imagine this person doesn't think they're lying at all. I just totally imagine this person thinks that they're defending.
You're also talking about somebody that shot at a person that was a tenant of his. Okay, we're talking about he pulled a firearm, threatened him, and then fired 2 rounds into the pavement right next to him. This is the kind of person that we're talking about.
Dance. That reminds me of those old westerns where the bad guy would shoot at somebody's feet just to watch him dance.
Yeah, he got charges against him for that.
Well, yeah, that's completely illegal.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, it was just, this guy was like, he paid his rent. Something happened with the check that didn't go through, and still he got the rent. He actually stopped by to give him the rent check because the guy had taken all of his stuff out of the place. And he just came back to get I'm here to get my stuff. Here is the check. I want to get my TV,
Gotta have that TV. Yeah.
I mean, I want to get my TV, my clothes, my baby pictures, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is crazy. I mean, the association that this whole group of people has, you start looking into them and you're like, oh my God, the amount of criminal stuff that they've done and continue to do to this day.
I would say that they have poor coping mechanisms. Just
What? You're not supposed to do that?
just not enough temperance, poor coping mechanisms.
Oh, get those flies from your drain, baking soda and vinegar when they're gone. Yeah, that's
If it only worked like that in life with humans that are like gnats.
All right, we're back on the record. All right, we're still on that there bomb scare day. Okay, this is the next exhibit. This is a petition by affidavit for order to show cause for a violation of temporary judgment of injunction for protection against. It doesn't say. It's probably domestic violence. It was filed that same day. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. It was filed December 6th, so it wasn't that day. Did you know there was a hearing on December 6th in this case?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. This was a long time ago in my world.
Oh, you have a world, huh? Yeah, let me show you this exhibit then. Well, it was an exhibit. Why don't you read it and see if it refreshes any of your recollection that you may have? So this would have been the hearing before the Baumscat hearing.
Okay. What's this question about it?
Did you read the exhibit? That's exhibit number 2. Did you read it?
What I can read of it. I'm having a hard time reading some of it.
Well, just take your time. It's not that long, but go ahead.
Okay.
Do you have any knowledge of that document or the events there?
I do not.
Okay, I'll show you our last exhibit.
Can I back up for just a second?
Oh, of course.
Was that any involvement in any kind of criminal allegations? Maybe a sworn complaint that came into the office?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
I'm trying to remember. It's like I just vaguely remember.
Exactly. That was the day of the
You have to remember that I have a lot of cases, and
I got you.
I just vaguely remember that, but it's not. I don't remember any details about it, so
No guessing.
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I don't remember any details. I just vaguely remember something about the filming, but that's all I remember.
Okay, so you have a vague recollection of the events that are listed on exhibit number 2?
I have a vague memory of there being a criminal allegation of like a violation of protective order sent in as a sworn complaint, but I don't know what the outcome was or anything like that.
Okay, what they're talking about in this particular exhibit, this is the exhibit that shows there was a protective order against Lynette Preston in Ohio. And that was part of what was being shown, and also the sworn complaint, also that she had a protective order against her in Ohio, which is a covers no matter what state he's in. It's a protective order no matter where he's at. She's not supposed to be within so many feet of him, not to communicate third party, which means that I wouldn't be allowed to reach out to Lynette and have a conversation with her and then carry that conversation over to Jeremy. Does that make sense? I mean, that's part of what third party conversation is. So it would be like me saying, "Hey, Dave of Allstorm said X, Y, or Z." No,
That son of a bitch.
that would be a no. That would be a thing you're not supposed to do.
No.
So that's what that protective order was about. All right.
Wow. Well, I don't remember any of that.
Good. Let's see if you know about this then. This is the last exhibit, exhibit 3. It's an order directing preservation of evidence. Let's take a look at that. Exhibit 3 was marked for identification. I do not have the exhibits in an email. Well, I'll see if they're in my send box. You emailed them to me? Because I don't have to email any of the exhibits. They were emailed to you. I got a copy of it. I will look at it right now and get a copy of it.
What's the question in reference to this?
Well, let me just one second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Manskin. There was a bad signal here. If we got on the Wi-Fi, it just sent to you. I was hanging in because my phone was not on the internet. Sorry, you've got them now. Do you have any knowledge about this exhibit number 3?
No. This looks like it's family court related.
No, this is okay. Let me show you exhibit number 2 again so you know why. Here's exhibit 2.
Right. Yeah, I read that.
Look at the date and time. Do you know how someone can make a complaint like this in this building?
How they can go about
Yes.
doing this?
Do you know?
Yes.
How do they do it in this building? Do they do it on a sink? Do they do it on a trunk? Do they do it in the back of somebody's funk?
Well, they would go upstairs and grab one of these forms and fill it out at the counter and give it to the nice little clerk ladies.
Oh, and look what time it was stamped on that day.
December 6th at 15:20.
What time?
3:20.
3:20.
3:20 p.m. And the order is filed at 4:10 the same day.
Oh, that was me.
Oh,
But
sorry.
go ahead.
Correct.
Do you have any knowledge about that? See where it says this? Because here's why I ask.
I don't work at the clerk's office.
Here's why I know, woman. But here's why I ask. Because it's very cloudy. It's very not clear at all. This cause having come before the court, subsequent to hearing in the above styled case and being informed that there may be evidentiary value in preserving the video footage. Do you have any role in informing the judge about this?
No. So I can tell you, based on my experience with restraining orders, like just my knowledge. When I was at the sheriff's office, I occasionally helped.
I'm asking what you know about here,
Okay, then no.
but appreciate you telling us that.
No. Yeah. The answer to your question is I have no idea.
I know what you're going to say. It gets brought to the judge, but
It would be sent electronically typically, but no idea.
okay, all right.
I had no involvement in that.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you, okay? Now I'm going to wrap it up with something that's not particularly pleasant, but it's a part of life, like passing gas. Do you know that your son had what's called an incident with Mr. Hales at the barbecues in Chiefland?
Do I know they had an incident?
Yeah.
I know that it was alleged.
Knew that it was alleged. And when you say it, what do you mean it?
I'm not answering those questions.
You just opened the damn door. So are you,
No. I answered one of your questions.
when you say it, what is it?
I'm not answering questions reference my son.
So are you refusing to answer the question?
Yes, sir.
Will you certify that question? Did you see Mr. Hales at Walmart on February 18th around 4:45 p.m.?
I have seen.
You do know there's cameras at Walmart, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I have no problem telling you that. I have seen.
Were you at were you at Walmart on
I have no idea what day it was, but I have seen Mr. Hales at the Walmarts one time.
one time?
Yes.
February 18th. If I tell you is
I don't remember when it was.
at 4:45 p.m.
I don't know what time it was. I know I've seen Mr. Hales one time. It was coming out of the entrance exit at not the food door, but the other door.
Not the grocery section.
Not the grocery section, but the other section. He was exiting, I was entering. And I went in and got dog food.
She's
You
got
can
a thing
look
for
that
dog
up
food.
on your security cameras. And when I got dog food,
I could see that.
I left.
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself. But I
Did
don't
you
remember
drive
nothing
there by
about the
yourself?
day.
Did you drive there by yourself?
I drove there myself. You should see that on your security cameras.
I did see you driving in the parking lot. I didn't see the parking lot. That's the same day as the incident you just described between your son and Mr. Hales. Did you drive your son to the parking lot on that day at Walmart?
Did I drive my son to the Walmart's parking lot?
Yeah, or to Walmart at all?
No.
Does your son drive a car by himself?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. My kids have cars, but some kids don't. I got it. Okay. Do you know that the process server tried to serve your son with a subpoena at your house?
My husband told me that.
Right. Where is your son living now?
I don't know.
When is the last time you had contact with your son?
Christmas.
Is there a problem? Is everything okay?
What do you mean?
I just think that the average person would think when you don't talk to a child, there's something,
He's an adult.
I I understand. Okay. So you haven't talked to him since Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, he's an adult.
Okay. Do you know where he works?
I have no idea.
All right. Do you know that
I don't know that he does work. I have no idea.
Mr. Hales filed a criminal complaint against your son for battery?
I'm aware of that. I had no involvement in that.
I understand. Well, do you know that complaint was assigned to, I think, the Fifth Circuit by Brian Kramer's office?
Yeah, I know it was assigned to a different circuit.
Ocala, Fifth. Yeah?
I just know a different circuit. I have no involvement in anything to do with that.
Okay. Were you ever contacted by anyone about that?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Do you know Michelle Barr?
Yeah, that was my supervisor.
That was your supervisor?
Yeah, well, she was one of my supervisors. One of them retired and Michelle took it over.
By the time of this incident last year in February, Michelle Barr was your supervisor, right?
I don't remember. I don't feel like she was, but I don't remember. Maybe.
If you don't remember, that's the answer. And this is really the last line of questioning, and I get it. I already don't like it, but we have to ask. You're no longer working as a victim's advocate here.
Correct.
Did you resign?
I did.
Can you tell us why?
Yeah. So I have no problem telling you that. There was a funding issue. The VOCA grant had been cut substantially throughout the state. They removed the advocate from Levy County. So we don't have a victim advocate from here. So they moved me to the Gainesville office, and Levy County was my heart.
Understood.
And it was a very hard and difficult decision.
It was distance then.
No, it wasn't necessarily as much distance as it was a multitude of things. It was distance. Levy County is my heart. And, I've been doing it a long time. And no matter what people have said or thought about me, I genuinely do have a passion to get in other people's business and cause havoc. And it's not an easy job. I've been in some cases that were emotionally very hard, and it takes a toll on someone. And so it was just time for something different.
You mentioned passions and things like that. Do you ever recommend attorneys to victims?
No,
What's wrong?
I don't. It would be super rare for me to do that.
Did you ever recommend to Miss Preston that she hire Joshua Silverman?
No.
Do you know that she did hire Joshua Silverman?
I did hear that, but I don't know Josh well enough to even refer him to.
Do you know that there were some donors who gave Miss Preston money to hire Mr. Silverman?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
It wasn't me.
Do you know that there were people who wrote letters to complain about you, about the way that you were, the way that you were? I don't know what to call you. I mean, call it. I guess the way you were handling your role as a victim's advocate in the Hales matter.
You mean after they were misinformed?
I don't know what they were informed at all. I just have a couple of letters.
Yeah.
So you do know about it.
I know about one.
Did Miss Barr ever talk to you about it?
About a letter?
Yes.
No.
So how did you know about this here letter?
Somebody laid it on my desk.
Somebody laid it on your desk. They just flopped it out there. An anonymous person just flopped that thing out there on your desk, just slapped it down and said, "Hey, look."
Yeah. It came through like the fax machine or something. I don't remember how it came through, but they laid it on my desk.
And did it say, and I'll just read it here. I'm writing to express my deep concern and outrage regarding the behavior of a Levy County, Florida victims advocate, Amanda Martin. It has come to my attention that Ms. Martin has used her position to aid and abet Lana Preston and abusing the court system, and has even gone so far as to send her son Steve Cunningham to physically assault a victim who she is supposed to be helping. This here kind of behavior is completely unacceptable and is going against the very principles of justice and support that the victim's advocates are meant to uphold. It's a shocking and deeply disturbing to think that someone in such a position of trust and authority would misuse their power in this way. I urge you to launch a thorough investigation into these here allegations and take a swift and decisive action against Miss Martin and any other who may be involved. Victims deserve to have advocates who will truly support and protect them and not betray them for their own personal gain. Thank you for this. Is that the letter?
It's similar. I don't remember if it was word for word. It was signed. Who was this signed by?
I'm not being told who signed it. I don't know. I was going to ask you. Who signed it? Do you know? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was like some weird name. I don't remember who it was, but yeah.
But it come in a fax.
Yeah, I assumed it was a fax.
So can I get that through the Sunshine Act?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. I don't know where it came from. I just know it was on my desk one day.
As part of being a victim's advocate, and someone has an order of protection in their favor, and they're now living here, and that person who is supposed to stay away from that person is also here, they make a complaint that this protective order, although not from Florida, has been violated. Would that then be reason for you to be a victim's advocate for that person who files a criminal complaint that they had been a victim?
I don't think I'm following you. I'm sorry.
Well, that figures you're simple-minded, so let's make it simple. Mr. Hales, do you know that Mr. Hales has an order of protective order in his benefit against Miss Preston and Mr. Cook?
I'm aware of that now.
Now? Objection! The entire question is completely unrelated to the current lawsuit. Mr. Sharkey, will you at some point be questioning her about the claims at the federal lawsuit in which you have subpoenaed her? I am asking the questions, counsel. You can do what you want. Okay, but I'm going to move to terminate the deposition under Rule 26C, requiring you obtain an order to continue the deposition and also enabling the court to consider whether to grant the witness a protective order for your misuse of discovery to question her about unrelated things that have nothing to do with this case. We'll be happy to go up to the magistrate. This is not the time or place for you to do that. But I'm going to waste the rest of my day listening to this bullshit. So you think that I'll log off at this point? I think that's what I'm going to do. You're waiving your right to cross? And as long as the witness is aware under 26C, she can terminate the deposition and put the onus on you to go to court. Then I'll be happy to leave it to her to decide the discretion how to handle being harassed and burdened the way that you are. This right here is such bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
This right here, I believe
he is telling her to get off, to stop.
Yes.
Because she's about to say some stuff that, well, she already has said stuff that does not look good to the whole case.
He knows it's about to get much worse, and he knows that it's also going to show Lynette's involvement in all this crap.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that right there is what he's been getting at. And coaching that exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here is also good. See, Bubbles understands that this is all going to be shown as evidence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he knows that
so hard.
Even him doing this shit is going to be shown as evidence. He's trying to get her testimony thrown out.
Yeah.
Because she's going to have to get up in front of the judge, and she's going to have to explain all of this stuff, and they've got proof. They've got proof. They've got proof of this letter. They've got proof of everything that happened in it. They've got video evidence. They have court documents. They even have online posts. Yeah.
Just, wow.
At the time LMP got the baby, knowing that family wanted to take another child from that mom and dad had already been like 4 or 5. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, legal advice.
Yeah.
Where are the receipts? Where is the proof? Where are the receipts? Where is the proof of? I don't know. That's a weird question. No, they were in New Jersey and not consulted. No, they were in New Jersey, and I don't know what you're talking about, New Jersey. This is not from New Jersey. I don't. That another weird thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can say I don't know.
Chat, stop trying to confuse the hell out of me because I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know what's happening. I just show up to read.
I don't know if they know what they're talking about.
I don't know.
Ah. This is for now. The third motion for sanctions for coaching a witness. Who the attorney? You know what? You know, is your husband available?
He
I
is.
think we should bring
He
him
is
in.
available.
Let's bring him in here because we need a voice of reason in all this bullshit.
Reason, yes. Just one moment.
Well,
let me go find him.
Yeah, go find him, and I'll send him an invite so he can join in because we've got to get that voice in there. The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah. All right. Ah, there we go. Ah, crazy stuff. All right, let me pull up a little bit of chat here for real quick and see what you guys are talking about. Gainesville, I bet BBB couldn't find that. Yeah, that's about the truth. Let's see. The person who won the bid for Jeremy said he never paid for it. He still has. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, all true. Okay. Yes, he was with her at the Walmart and ran away from the restaurant. You hubby knew, didn't he? I don't know what that means. Now, so that's crazy. Jeremy auctioned his hoodie with the stain from the attack for $1,000. That's crazy. So crazy. Yeah, funding issue, but she resigned. Yeah, I mean, especially whenever you hear this letter, it becomes a little weird. Now, you have to remember that there's always a possibility that, and somebody was asking earlier, so what does this have to do with Jeremy's whole issue here? And this is the point that you know we're trying to show on this and having some fun doing it is if you see what's being brought out in this deposition, you're questioning yourself and scratching your head going, I don't understand where his line of questioning is going. Well, first of all, whenever you're asking a witness, you have to you're questioning somebody, you have to lay a little bit of groundwork. And that's what he did. He laid the groundwork, what her role is, what a victim's advocate does, how all of those questions are things that are more of just lining up. It's not like you run in and you say, do you know about this? You're actually trying to lay a little bit of groundwork, to show that their answers are valid, that they're not just some rando that you picked up off the street and said, hey, I need you to tell me this stuff. It'd be like me bringing Diva in and saying, saying X, Y, or Z and not laying any foundation of how you were involved in this case. That's what I'm trying to get at. And so that's what a lot of his questions were, is to basically build it to the point of, okay, this is a valid person, this is who they say they are, and then also be able to go into those questions and bring all of that stuff up. Oh, we got. Well, thank you so much, Janice. If you meant to do that twice, I just, because it looks like it's the same exact thing on both. So you can always resend one of those if you can. I don't know how Tug knows how that's done, but you can resend one of those because I see that you put the same question in there twice.
Yeah, so she can resend it. Yes, pull it back if you need to. Yeah,
I
don't know how either.
I don't know either, Janice.
I don't know. I send super chats. I don't know. So I've never If I've sent one accidentally, I'm like, oh man, oops. Oh, so Volstorm was frying bacon naked, so it might take him a little bit to get on.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. We can hold off for a little bit. That's fine. So thank you so much, Janice. Harley's aunt lives. This is what the thing was. I understand now. So Harley's aunts live in New Jersey, and they were the ones trying to get Harley. See, I don't know anything about that. And also the second. Well, I'll still give you a star, but you can resend that if you want to. That's absolutely fine. I don't know how.
Oh, the kid. Yeah, I don't like talking about the kid stuff.
Yeah, I don't either. But that does have a little bit to do with this. So
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So
okay.
But sorry about that. But yeah, that the kid stuff is a little dark. So that's why we try to avoid all of that. Is that spicy juice in that coffee cup?
No, it's just it's a little darker than I care for. It's a darker roast. I kind of like a good breakfast food.
Hey, Teresa Finn, happy Sunday. Oh, if you guys haven't, Teresa Finn is a fun writer. Might be a little bit on the spicy side.
Spicy.
How is the best description that you could give her works of art there, Diva?
Pretty good plot. I like the plot line. It's good. You can actually get into the plot, but then what you really get into is more of the squeezing of fruit.
I'd like to get into some squeezing of fruit.
Yeah.
Let's go. That was perfect. Yes.
I told everyone you were frying bacon naked.
Yes. Thank you,
That's
Janice.
mostly
I
true.
appreciate that.
Mostly true.
Have on shorts.
That makes a whole lot of sense. You were asking how Jersey came into this whole thing. Well, you have to understand that the whole Jersey portion of that is an entirely other case that's not even involved in this case. That would be something that was between the child, the aunts, and the guardian at that point in time. So it has nothing to do with this case whatsoever. Like the relevance to it is not at all. But I understand now. Thank you very much.
It's a big spider web.
Yes, it is a big spider web, and they're about to catch some flies,
catch some gnats. Yeah.
Well, here we go. We have the Mr. Shockit.
Well, I guess it's Sunday then. Now, this is a third motion for sanctions for coaching a witness who the attorney does not even represent. Actually giving legal advice to a witness in a deposition, sir. You should know better.
I wasn't talking to you.
You were talking to me, and
you're using this for harassment. It's unrelated to the claims in this case. I'm not going to waste my time. I can't. I don't represent the witness, Randy. I can't bring a motion under 26C or terminate the deposition because I don't represent her. She had counsel. They would do so, or she could do so now on her own.
Then why are you opening your mouth?
I think I would log off. Let the record show that Attorney Manskin and Mr. Cook are no longer.
Attorney Manskin, are you waiving your right to cross?
Thank you very much.
Are you waiving your right to cross, sir? Let the record reflect there was no answer to that question.
Well, you let me know when it's to my turn. Email me or...
Oh, sir, it's about to be your turn shortly. Yes, it is. That's why I'm saying, would you like...
I've asked you all along how long you going to be. Now you're going to tell me how long? How long? You said very short. How long?
I told you that this is almost the last question.
Well, now I'll stay. Now I'll stay.
Oh, you'll stay. Okay, all right, good. I'm glad you're gonna stay. Now, do you hold any hard feelings about being removed, resigning towards Mr. Hales?
No, that was nothing to do with Mr. Hales.
Notice her voice got angrier when I got on here. I have no further questions. Would you like to cross, Mr. Matskin?
Actually, I have no hard feelings towards Mr. Hales at all.
You have what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the mumbling.
I have no hard feelings towards Mr. Hales or either of the parties. Like, I have nothing.
Okay. On that line, then, do you have any feelings about Miss Preston? Either way.
No, I have, and that is sincere. I genuinely am very neutral about this whole thing.
Now, let me ask you this little question here. Did you know that Jeremy Hales was assigned to you as a victim advocate, as a victim for you to advocate for?
Or didn't you say no further questions?
We're following up on her answer, sir.
Am I allowed to?
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe that happened after this had happened, and I think they had moved it away from me, so I wasn't allowed to. It was like a conflict.
Oh, so someone moved it away from you now.
Yes, so I don't think I think there was a conflict because the Hales, and I can't say that because I don't want to guess, but I'm going off what I remember.
Now, have you ever heard Miss Preston say anything derogatory about Mr. Hales?
Derogatory?
Yes.
I mean, other than the allegations of what she's alleging and the complaints that I've had in the office, no.
Now, did you know that she took the almighty Fifth Amendment many times in her deposition?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Do you know she dismissed her case?
No.
I thought that was the last question.
Oh, my goodness, as if from heaven above. Did we just hear Mr. Cook? That's really interesting. I'd like to instruct him to please.
What are you talking about? It's interesting. You knew he was present the whole time. It's not on mute. Give me a break.
Mr. Cook, please mute your microphone. We are trying to get to the end here. Mr. Matskin will probably ask you some questions.
Well, you said no more questions. Now we're going down a whole nother line of questioning.
Again, because I have to repeat this, let the record reflect that I have been interrupted since the court reporter instructed.
Listen, I was about to log off because you're using Discovery for harassment. And then you said it was the last question, relying on that. I agreed to stay on. And now you're 5 minutes later down another line of questioning. I'm asking you again, how long before it's a cross-examination time? My pants are in a wad.
So I have no further questions. Mr. Matskin, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Well, thank you. Well, good morning, Miss Martin.
Oh, good morning.
Were you served with the subpoena for today's deposition?
Yes.
Where were you served? Were you served at your home?
I was subserved. My husband was served.
At your home?
Yes.
It was like, answer the door, here you go.
Yes. Or he could have just been standing outside. I'm not sure. I just know I was subserved. I'm here.
I understand. Did he have a check accompanying for a witness fee?
I believe so.
What did you know the amounts?
So I only know this because the process server then had to come back to my home, which I thought was very odd. But I think originally it was like $5 and then maybe it was 30. He came back and brought one for 35.
So in other words, a second visit from a process server on a separate day just to deliver a second check.
That's correct.
So how far did you travel today?
Like 20 minutes.
Miles?
20 miles.
20? So you drive 1 mile an hour? 1 mile a minute?
Yeah, approximately.
Did your subpoena have a check for mileage accompanying it?
No. It was just like I said, it was the $5 check originally, and then it came back and said again, it was not me. This is third party through my husband. He said he gave us the wrong check and it should have been $35 check.
Understood. And no further money, so a check for the mileage.
No, and I'm not cashing that.
You're not cashing it?
No.
Do you have any knowledge about road signs, handwritten signs, calling Mr. Hales a child graper?
To be very honest, only through some of this YouTubes that I've been sent to me since all of this, I didn't know anything about any of that when this was going on. So just since that.
And since then, what comprises your knowledge about this here topic? Is it just to see the YouTube videos?
That is it.
On your own? Or would you say that people send them to you?
Yeah, I do not go and look at that.
Who do you receive the YouTubes from? Like links from that prompt you watch something?
I could not tell you by name. I mean, I just have some very bored friends in life that's just what they do.
Okay, I see. So you have some really bored friends. They thought you might be interested in it. And they say, hey, woman. And then they send it to you along with the particular in connection with this whole, what the hell's bad neighbor thing.
I call it a saga, but yes.
Say it again. You called it?
I call it a saga.
So you didn't have any knowledge about the signs other than what you just described from just watching some video clips onto YouTubes?
Yeah, and very, very minimal of that. I don't have any knowledge of any signs.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge of any defamatory statements that Michelle Preston made about Jeremy Hales?
No. The only thing that I'm aware of are things that would be involved in a criminal allegation that were received in a criminal complaint in the state attorney's office. And I don't know that you would call them.
That's what resulted in your being assigned as the victim's advocate.
Yes. And again, I will state this. I do not pick who the victim is. Law enforcement does that for me. I get a case in and
You're a victim?
You're a victim.
You're a victim.
It just comes to me, and whoever law enforcement has chosen is the victim is who is in front of me.
Understood. Well, do you have any knowledge or information pertaining to the Michelle Preston or the John Cook interfering with the Jeremy Hales of business?
No.
Do you have any knowledge or information pertaining to Michelle Preston or John Cook contacted any of Jeremy Hales' customers or companies with whom he does the business?
No.
Did Michelle Preston ever say to you in her discussions, during your time as her victim advocate, that she had any plans to interfere with Jeremy Hales' business?
Can you reword that? I honestly don't know that is a question I can answer, just because I would not repeat anything that a victim would have disclosed to me.
Well, that's fair enough, okay? But you don't have any personal knowledge of Michelle or John Cook interfering with Jeremy Hales' business.
Objection to form.
No, I do not.
Well, let me rephrase. Do you have any knowledge or information pertaining to any issues of Michelle Preston or John Cook interfering with Jeremy Hales' business?
Objection to form. Calls for legal conclusion. Also a compound question. I can pull out Black Law's dictionary for you if you'd like.
Yeah, I think you just answered one very similar or asked one similar to that, but no, I do not have any knowledge of that.
Okay. Did you know when you were subpoenaed for today what topics you'd be questioned about?
No,
Did you give it any thought?
no,
Do you have any thoughts? Or do you have any knowledge of the actual claims that existed in the lawsuit, which is captioned on the subpoena you received it?
I actually do not know what the claims are. I did not read it.
Oh, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Well, I have a couple of follow-ups to that. Now, did you know that Miss Preston said we need to expose Mr. Hales, need to go under?
I don't remember her saying that. Where would she have said that? Like on
Well, I'll just show it to you right here.
an injunction?
Would you like me to show it to you? You want me to show it to you? Would you
Wow.
like me to show it to you?
On air? Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
that's
Excuse me while I whip this out.
no, because I don't want to see it. I don't remember nothing.
Now, do you know that Miss Preston also said, I want to see Mr. Hales off of YouTube permanently?
No. Again, I don't recall any of that. Seeing any of that, and I would not repeat things that were said to me, even if I did.
Well, okay. All right. And that was the same answer you just gave Mr. Manskin, yes? Did I tell the truth today?
I told everything that I remember, and anything I did say was the truth.
And every question that you answered, you understood.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for coming. We can go off the record now, or do you want to stay on the record about her right to read or waive?
I would request to read, please.
Please read. And
Got
she
it.
signed off on it and said that she certified it and everything was good.
Whew.
There you
Lord.
go. Lord
Wow.
Almighty.
Got the vapors.
Got the
I
vapors.
mean, she did a good job of not answering anything, really. She didn't
Yeah.
really answer anything. So,
Well,
No, and that is the bad part about depositions is
Mhm.
sometimes if the person doesn't know or they're not aware of it, they're not going to be able to answer those kinds of
Yeah.
questions.
and it's easy to say, I don't recall. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be some viewers who remember that whole Iran Contra thing
yeah.
way back in the day. And I do not recall. I do not recall.
Well,
I have
also,
no
don't
recollection.
recall.
I don't
if you
recall.
don't have the proof right in front of you, you can't prove
my
that they
gosh.
don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, unless
Yep.
you've got a screenshot or you've got some
Mhm.
type of documentation, you're not going to be
Yeah.
able to say, "Oh no, they know." Look,
Yeah.
Yeah, and back in the day, they didn't have things like screenshots.
No.
right?
No.
That's relatively new within the past, 20, 30, 20, 25 years that people were starting to really do screenshots of those kinds of things.
That was 5 years
Most
ago.
of the time they were
Yeah, it was
pictures.
just a few
or-
years ago, Shizzy. Wow.
When
What time
20
travel are
Come on.
you doing? I guess it was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember.
I mean,
my-
think about this O.J. Simpson trial.
Yeah.
yeah.
How long ago was that? Like,
I have no
tw-
clue.
30
Oh,
years
that was
ago.
in the
They didn't use
mid-90s.
screenshots. They were using little screens this big to watch like videos. I mean, on the stand, just little bitty cameras.
Oh yeah, they were.
They didn't
It's
have
true.
big screen TVs. It was all projectors and crap like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's about- It's about the
imagine
size
being
of your
an
backup
audio.
camera now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cooking bacon naked. Don't burn the sausage.
I wasn't naked. I was mostly naked. Thank you.
Well, you missed it earlier. I was telling everyone that because they were getting all excited, and I said that they said that Diva had Volstorm out doing yard work, and I said, well, she does like to keep him in his underwears out there.
That's right. She likes me
She
looking
likes it.
pretty while I do chores.
That's right, honey.
all
I like to
all
get
wet.
you out there.
all
Mhm.
wet and sweaty in the
That's right.
Oh
rain.
yeah.
That's
Mhm.
right. And smelling like bacon grease.
Nothing turns me on like that, baby. Nothing. Not a thing in the world.
Oh, I use it for cologne. It keeps my wife happy.
Throw in some
Hey.
backer juice and oh, we got a good
That's right.
combo.
That is
Yes.
right. And 3-day-old
Oh.
Coors.
Well, thank you, Denise, and
Yeah.
thank you also, Diva and Volstorm. I appreciate you being able to take a little bit of time out of today, out of your busy day, because I know, as Yamaha would say, that you've got the leather straps all
That's later. You got to let them warm
Well,
up a little first. Or, you know, you
yeah.
want that cold leather on your skin. Just
What do you
feel
think the
good.
bacon grease is for?
That's
I
right.
mean, you know?
Yeah, you know, help you in those tight spots. Just saying.
poaching the eggs.
Yes.
If they get Brandon to depose him, he says different, she's in trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if they've got a signed testimony by him and they actually do call him in for deposition, that could be something.
Yeah.
Sorry for the whiny complainer. No, I don't think
you're
anybody is.
Who's
Nobody is in problem. There's no
No,
problems here.
No,
What?
whenever I come on, I really should warn people that for some reason my volume level is higher than everybody else's.
It
so
is.
it
It is.
And then I like to yell when I'm doing impersonations. So
You should, yeah, there should be a
That's my fault.
disclaimer for him.
I have anxiety over the roof.
well, that's why he has to play such a loud intro for me to get everybody else
Ready.
adjusted to the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Get
has to be loud. It has to be proud.
Mhm.
But for that is, I was at one point thinking of doing a Sunday Spice tonight, but
Oh.
I know that I've got I do have some videos to record, and I want, because I'm going to be out of town next week for 2, maybe 3 days. So I'll have one for Monday, a stream, set up that'll be pre-recorded, and that'll show on Monday. Tuesday, I might be able to do it live. I don't know. We'll just see. Like, I'll be from an undisclosed location. So
Yes.
we'll see
Yes.
The
if it
bunker.
happens there. If not, I won't have one recorded, and you'll just miss a day. And Wednesday, I probably will be leaving early in the morning, so definitely won't have time to do anything then. Getting back in town. So Wednesday night might be really interesting, and Thursday is going to be crazy from what I can tell, because that'll be the day. Thursday's the day that Bubbles is to be in front of the court.
Oh, that
As
is
long
this
with Shock It.
week.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's going to
Wow.
be Thursday, and I'm sure that this is going to be crazy. No, Dollywood is coming up. When is it again, Fallstorm?
I believe it is the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June.
And Dollywood Day is the 5th.
Yes.
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 And that's on Saturday, right?
No, that's on a Thursday.
So the 5th is on.
I gotta look.
The
I gotta
4th is
look.
Yeah,
Wednesday, the 5th is Thursday, and then the 6th is Friday, which will be FNL Live.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The 5th is on a Thursday, and that's the Dollywood Day.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the 6th is that Friday.
Believe me, it's burned into my brain at this point.
I see it's still not burned into mine. I always have to look. I'm like, I know
Yes,
I've
I have to
requested
look
time
also.
off. I've requested time off from work. So
Oh, and I have secured a location too, so I will definitely be there.
Nice.
With bells
Nice.
and whistles on.
I've got a good sleeping bag for you, Shizzy. That way you won't get too cold.
You
Oh,
don't
I
mind
feel
sleeping with full-grown dogs, do you?
There might be some mountain lions wandering
They
around too.
share
just
the yard now.
coyotes.
It's gonna be
All the
awesome.
things.
I'm looking up for it. Yeah, there was experts Discord was hacked yesterday. Volstorm probably knows more about
Yeah.
it because he's a mod over there.
Well, we had through somebody else's ID, there was a bunch of spam links that were sent in to almost every thread on there. So myself and a couple others, we had to go in and clean all that stuff out, and basically had to shut down the Discord because we were worried about, it affecting other
malware.
people's
Yeah.
servers.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's shut down for now. Trying to decide what we're going to do going forward, but
Terry Evans wants her speakers blown out.
Hey, what you do, Terry, is whenever you know I'm coming on, just turn it down and then turn it back up and then turn it
Oh, I think she wants her
Oh.
speakers blown out.
Oh, well, maybe she
Oh.
does. If I'm
Yeah.
all for that. Believe me.
Then turn it up even
I'm
louder.
here to serve.
Yeah, turn it up.
Now, I do know this is also food for everyone's thought here, and keep this in mind. Megan, somebody is impersonating Megan Fox on chats. Okay, she has not asked for any money. She's only asked for prayers and thoughts. So if you see someone anywhere asking for money for Megan Fox for her daughter, that just know that is a person that is not Megan Fox, is somebody that's using her name and face and image, and it's not her. So don't fall for it. She wouldn't do that. So she did give me a message yesterday and said, hey, just so you know, what if you're doing a live tonight, that was last night, which I didn't do a live, if you see my name come up there, somebody asking for money, it's not me. I said, well, if you show up, I'll know, because you've got a wrench on my channel. So
I mean,
if
for crying
there's
out
no
loud,
wrench behind it.
When Megan begs for money, she just does it live on stream in front of everybody.
Exactly.
You
Yeah, she doesn't have to send out.
she
requests.
didn't have to send out messages.
Yeah. So if you do get a message from a Megan Fox asking for money for her daughter, that's not her. So just be aware, and spread the word around if you're out there and you see them on anybody's chat channel or anything like that. Just let them know that is not her. She wouldn't do that. She said, do keep my family in your prayers, my daughter, but I asked for nothing. So you sent something to my email. Well, thanks, Max. I will definitely check that out. Probably a little bit later today. Like I said, I do have some recording to do, and it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be wonderful.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
And I may have some more nice little letters to Bubbles, because those are always fun. If I get the hankering to do it, then I will. But yeah, I'll be pre-recording like a 2-hour stream. I'll even have a break in there for you guys.
It's funny. I do have to say, nothing made me happier than having the original format of the music and Yamaha reading the letters. It just brought a smile to my face. I was like, yes, it's back.
Yes.
Oh, Megan did a quick video today. She mentioned again not to donate. Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Good for her.
Good,
Oh,
good.
and thanks to Max. Max is absolutely awesome. And it says Shizzy is for federal case number 2. Yeah, there is a few things I'll probably be reading on that and going over some of the stuff on that, but it's because there isn't a whole lot of movement on that. I have to just take my time with it and sort of process all of those filings, because it seems to be just a little bit different. We'll see. And Teresa says, I have decided I'll be staying with Diva and Volstorm if I can make it to Hollywood.
Come on.
Come on, Teresa. You will also have dogs sleeping with you. So just be
Yes.
aware.
Hope you like dogs
Like dogs
and mess.
and mess. And yeah.
Oh,
People
and
frying bacon and naked. Just be
I
aware.
wasn't naked. Damn.
that may make her want to just come even
Oh,
faster.
That may be.
She'd be like, I'll be there a week early if there's going to be naked bacon frying.
He's glistening. No, that's bacon grease.
It's bacon grease. Secret. Mm.
Yeah, I'm picturing Volstorm and Yamaha side by side cooking bacon for Diva. Just like
That is not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh God. Yes, it
There we
is.
go.
Yes, it is. It's totally out of the realm. I would be like, what the hell's happening in my kitchen? Why?
What?
What?
Do you want your eggs
Make
over
sure you
easy or
guys go
what?
sub up to Diva if you want more of this spicy stuff that has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought I was done, bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free, it's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you're glued to the screen. Caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute, but here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny. So grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy, send in your bread. I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're irrelevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy, yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, let's set the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy Daddy's forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to Papa Nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's. Bitch, and will see me tomorrow, same obsession, same effing thing.